Hello, all of my little beans. This video is inspired by one of my favorite YouTubers, Kelly Gooch, who has done this video, I think, 2 or 3 times so far. She does it usually at the beginning of the year, but I figure now's as good a time as any. So we're gonna be choosing one thing from every category of makeup that if I were to have to throw away my whole collection, these are the things that I would keep from every single category. And I'm only allowed to pick one of each. And as you can tell, I am completely barefaced right now. I haven't put any makeup on because we're gonna go through these and apply them as we go. So it's sort of like get ready with me and favorites video. Actually, it's not really a favorites video because it's not like asking me to choose my favorite things out of my collection. This is a very different question, and Kelly talked about this in her video, which I will link down below, that this is if I were to get rid of my whole collection and only pick one thing to keep from each category, like what would it be? And that's a very different question from what is your favorite thing from each category. Like that's super different because if I were to keep like one thing from each category, it has to be something that's sort of like universal and can be used in every scenario. And that's definitely not the case for a lot of my favorite things in my collection. Let's start. The first thing on the list is primer. And it will be to nobody's surprise that I chose the Rare Beauty Always an Optimist primer. I adore this primer. I know that they've just released a new one. I don't know if it's as high shine. I haven't seen any reviews on it so far, but I really love everything from Rare Beauty, so I'm sure it's great, but I really love their original primer, which is the very glowy, dewy sort of look that it gives. I'm gonna take my rings off for this. Blech. I don't like applying like creamy lotion products on my face with rings on. It just gets into all of the little cracks and stuff. I don't like it. I'm just gonna apply a little bit on my hand. Just about a pump. That's what that looks like. It's very shimmy shiny. Shimmy shiny. You can already see the glow that it's adding to my face. I love this primer so much. I'm gonna add even more shine to my face in just a second, you'll see. Okay, so we have our primer applied. Next category is foundation. And for this, I have chosen the Rare Beauty Weightless Foundation. It's no surprise I love everything from Rare Beauty. This is my favorite foundation that I currently have. To be completely honest, I have not been wearing foundation all that much lately, but when I do, this is the one that I generally go for. Because it's very weightless, it's very comfortable. It doesn't feel like I'm wearing foundation whenever I do wear it. So I'm gonna do my standard application of foundation, which I usually do, which is adding a bit of a buffer. And by buffer, I mean like a lotion or a serum or something. In this case, I'm going to be using the Glow Recipe Niacinamide Dewdrops. Let's just add some more glow to our face, why don't we? So I put a drop of that onto my hand, shaking it up a little bit. I'm putting a little bit of the foundation and take my sponge, mix that around a little bit together and apply. I haven't tried this technique with the Niacinamide Dewdrops yet. I usually do it with a lotion. I honestly feel like I didn't really need that much foundation today. My skin has been doing really, really well, and that's mostly why I haven't been wearing that much foundation. Also just because it usually takes longer to apply my makeup when I do foundation, so lately I just haven't felt the need to do it, you know? There you go. There's that foundation. Oh, I love how it looks with the dewdrops. Yeah, that's beautiful. Oh my God, look at that application. Look at that. Look how, Oh, I love. It doesn't even look like I'm wearing foundation. This is wild. Yeah, this has been my favorite application of this product so far, is mixing it in with the Niacinamide Dewdrops. I might continue to buy those. And it doesn't, like, one of my favorite things about this foundation, especially when you mix it in with a lotion, it could be a lotion or this serum or whatever it is that adds hydration to the foundation. It does not sink into your fine lines. It sits on your skin just perfectly that it looks like skin. Like, it looks like I'm not even wearing foundation. I might as well not be wearing any foundation. It's so light coverage. It's just chill. It's a chill foundation. That's like the best way I can describe it. It's a chill foundation. It's like if lo-fi music was a foundation, this is the foundation that it would be. Just chill. It's a chill foundation. I love it. Okay, now moving on to concealer. This one I went back and forth between so many different concealers because there's a lot that I do really like. And I'm picky, but I'm not that picky about concealers. There's a few that I really like and that I go back and forth between, but ultimately what I decided on was the ColourPop Pretty Fresh Hyaluronic Acid Concealer. I've tried a lot of different concealers and I like a lot of them, but this one by far is the most like natural looking skin feeling concealer that I've used. And I don't use a lot of concealer whenever I do use concealer. I use just a tiny little bit. And my method is the method that Robert Welsh uses, where he puts like a little bit on the inside and sometimes on the outside as well. And I'll just spread it all along that inner corner just to play with the light, because that's usually where the light bounces off the most. And you can give the illusion of a brighter under eye just by brightening out that inner area. You don't need to like go all the way across, and I don't usually like to do that. So I'm just gonna put a tiny dot on the inside of each eye, just like that. And I'm gonna take my Rare Beauty concealer brush, and I'm just gonna dab, 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 dab. To be completely honest, I have filmed this video once before and I decided to refilm it because the previous concealer that I chose didn't turn out to work very well the day that I was filming, and I don't know why, but my under eye was just like super freaking scaly and it just didn't want to cooperate with me. Sorry if you can hear people talking. I have my door open because it is now warm in Montreal and I want to feel the fresh air in my apartment. So apologies if you can at any point hear people talking outside, but I have a balcony and other people have balconies and they leave their doors open because it's warm again in Montreal. And the guy across from me also plays a lot of video games, it seems, and he's always playing video games with his friends, which is fine. Like, I get that life. That's also my life, so I kind of feel bad for my neighbors sometimes because I'm constantly yelling like swear words at the games that I'm playing. And as much as people are like, oh, you shouldn't swear, you shouldn't rage in video games, I rage, okay? I get mad. I get really, really mad. I am that angry gamer. And there we go. My under eyes are that much brighter just because of the concealer. Next we have bronzer, and the bronzer that I chose to go with is the Fenty Beauty Cream Bronzer. This one is in the shade Butter Biscuit. I just love applying this bronzer. It blends seamlessly. And what I like to do is I put it on the sponge, and I apply it along my cheekbone. I don't like to put it lower because I like to lift my cheeks up rather than have it lower down, you know? Oof, I think I put a little bit too much, but you know what? I'm not mad. Same thing on that side. I kind of miss doing my whole face. I haven't really done my whole face in a really long time because I usually just don't. Not that I don't want to, it's just, it takes a lot longer. I'm just taking a little bit on my sponge and putting it around my forehead just to warm up my skin, you know? There we go. We've warmed up the face a little bit. I love this bronzer so much. It just blends so beautifully and so seamlessly, and it works so well with my skin tone. I don't think I have another bronzer that works quite this well with my skin tone. So for powder, which is usually my next step, I went back and forth with choosing this one, but this is like literally the only cruelty-free powder that I have other than one that I just don't like and I don't want to use. I love this powder, but I don't support this brand anymore, and it's the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. Because the question is, like, if I had to throw out all my collection, which one I would still keep, and it would be this one because this is the one that I like the most, and this is the only one that is cruelty-free out of my collection that I do really like. The other one that I have that is cruelty-free is the Too Faced Peach Perfect whatever powder. I don't like that one at all. It's way too drying on my skin. This one is like literally perfect, but I do not like Hourglass as a company, so I'm not going to repurchase this. But if I had to throw out my collection and only keep one powder, this is the one that I would keep because I like it the best. And first, what I'm gonna do, which is kind of cheating, I'm going to take the little bronzer from in here. It's not quite cheating because, okay, I chose a cream bronzer and now this is my like powder bronzer. So as a powder bronzer, I would probably pick this one. I'm just gonna take the tiniest little bit on this Morphe M536 brush and just do some more bronzer application, but just a lot more concentrated in one area. Do you see it just kind of warms up the face a little bit more? And just blend that really gently into the rest of my bronzer. Here, do you see that? Just that precise application of bronzer just really helps to contour the face. At least I think so. I'm not trained in this, but that's what I like to do. I've had my makeup done for like acting things occasionally or like photo shoots, but did I learn jack shit? No. This is just me doing it the way I see other people doing it and trying out different techniques until I find one that I like, and then I just come here and share it with all of you. But anyway, let's go into the powder. The ambient lighting powders. The first two on this top row is the ambient lighting powders. I have this one in dim light and this one in whatever light. Dim light and diffused light. So we have dim light here, which is this darker one, and diffused light here, which is this lighter one. I like to go in with dim light like everywhere else on my face, and I like to go in with diffused light, which is the lighter one, underneath my eyes and along my nose. I don't always powder everywhere. In fact, I don't usually powder anywhere except like areas that I think that I really need it when I'm wearing foundation, which is along my T-zone mostly, because that's where the oil tends to accumulate. So I'm gonna put a little bit of the diffused light or the dim light on my forehead. And I like this powder a lot because it's luminous, but it's not sparkly. And I'm using a Morphe M438 brush just to apply that powder. This is such a blurring powder. I really like how blurring it is. I think out of the two colors, the one that I would choose is the diffused light, so the lighter one in the middle, just because you can use it in more situations. It works as a translucent powder, but it also works as like a highlighting shade as well. Okay. I'm happy with that. I'm good. I'm good. We've done good. We've done good. Everything is blended. Everything looks nice. That was the Ambient Lighting Hourglass powder. I love the product, hate the company. Sorry, not sorry, Hourglass. Do better. Okay, we have now blush. One of my favorite things to apply, if not my favorite thing to apply, because even on days when I forego bronzer, I will never forego blush. I love blush. Even on days when I don't wear anything else, I will still wear blush. And for this one, I kind of cheated the same way that I did with the bronzer. I chose a liquid one and I chose a powder one because I love both. And I figure because the application is very different, they're kind of two different categories, so I'm going to treat them as two different categories. So I've chosen a liquid one and a powder one. And the liquid one that I have chosen is the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Blush. This one is in the shade Bliss. I really love this color. It's a very sort of like, not universal color. I hate that term, universal color. Every time a brand says universal color, I look at it and I'm like, sounds about white. But this one's really nice for my particular skin tone. I find it's really beautiful and it's very like everyday friendly, but even with like a more colorful look, it works. It's just very appropriate for all events and occasions. Yeah, it's appropriate for all occasions. And so it's a safe one to be like, yeah, if I had to throw everything away, this is the one that I could use literally all the time and it would be appropriate. So I'm gonna take a little bit on my stick thing and I'm gonna put it on my hand. On my hand. I've mixed it around a little bit in the tube. And I'm gonna take my Rare Beauty foundation brush. I don't actually use this for foundation, I use this for liquid blushes. And I'm gonna tap a little bit in there and dig it right in and then put it on my cheek. I really love this foundation brush for applying liquid blush. It's like my favorite thing. The only thing about this blush is that it's matte, so it really mattifies your face wherever you put it. Like it takes away the shine that you once had before. I'll take a little bit more on my hand and apply that to the other cheek. Do you see that color? It's just beautiful, like rosy peach color. And it's soft, like you can blend it out and make it as soft as you want, or you can keep it very concentrated and build it up to be very pigmented. because these are very, very pigmented blushes. You don't need a lot to really get that color to shine. Put a little bit on my nose. So nice. I just feel so sun-kissed. The second blush that I have chosen, which is one that I often wear as a topper or just by itself, it's the Cosmetics Heaven's Glow Magic Hour blush. I love everything from the Cosmetics Magic Hour lineup. There's just something so magical about the products. It truly evokes that sense of the magic hour. Now I'm gonna take my Kaleidos blush brush and apply some of this on top of the blush that I've already applied. Because there is a sheen to this blush. It just makes it shiny. You can definitely use this blush as like a highlighter combo. Oh, I definitely got sparkles on my cheeks from the blush that I was wearing yesterday, and I used this brush to apply it, so apologies if you see sparkles on my cheeks. That's from yesterday. And we're just adding a little bit more peachiness to the cheeks with that blush. Do you see that? Oof, beautiful. Gorgeous, beautiful. But there is a sheen to the face. Do you see we've brought that light, that sheen back to the cheek that was missing when I put the Rare Beauty one on. Also just even more color. I'm gonna put a little bit on my nose because it's just how I roll. That's how I be. I love blushing my nose. Occasionally I'll just connect it, go all along the cheek, because I saw Hannah Louise post and recently described this as having like a heat stroke blush look, which is perfect. Like, I love looking like I've just gone out in the sun and burnt my face off. That is literally my favorite look. I just feel like I look so healthy when I have just like a streak of blush across the middle of my face. It's a great look and I absolutely love it. Whoever tells me, oh, you're applying your blush wrong, I'm like, that's how I like to apply it. Like, don't even talk to me. That's how I like to apply my blush. That is legitimately the look I'm going for. I want to look like I've just had a heat stroke. Highlighter. My highlighter that I would choose out of all of my highlighters to keep, if I had to throw them all away and I would keep only one, it's the Rare Beauty Liquid Luminizer in the shade Enlighten, specifically Enlighten. This one just adds like a pearlescent finish to your face that is just otherworldly and ethereal. This is also just good as a multi-use product. I like to mix this in with my foundation sometimes to just give it that much more of a shine. That was before I had the Niacinamide dewdrops. I would be mixing this in with my foundation just to give it that oomph, you know, when I want it to really shine. Or I would mix it in with my my primer. I mixed this in with my primer even on days when I didn't want to wear foundation, just to elevate my look even further. I want to look like a fairy. I want to look like I'm glowing from the inside out. And how better to do that than to apply highlighter all over your face? This one I do like to apply with my finger just because I find I get a more concentrated and precise application that way. So I take a little bit on my stick, I put it on my hand, and from there I take it and I apply it on my face where I feel like I need it. And I tap with my finger. I don't drag because then I risk like lifting up the product underneath it, because this one doesn't dry down quickly like the soft pinch blush does. So you do risk pulling at the product underneath it if you start to drag. So just gentle tapping until it has set into your face. And I like to bring it up onto my brow bone as well. Just have to have all the shiny. I bring it also right up to the eye. Following Robert Welsh's tutorial, I kind of just put it all over the cheekbone where the light hits my face. And I have quite a wide cheek. The light kind of hits me everywhere. So yeah, do you see that? I also just bring it in, like, probably further than I should, but whatever. I will go in with powder if I feel like I've brought it in a little bit too much, like up to my nose. I'll just go in and powder it and chill it or tone it down a little. Oh, pretty. So nice. So nice. Look at that shine. Look at that shine. I feel like a fairy. Oh my god, I look like my face is glowing. One of the things I absolutely love to do with highlighter, I like to take just the tiniest amount on my Cupid's bow. Because it's just like, it adds that extra, like, especially if you put a gloss on, it just brings that attention to your lips in a way that it just makes them look kissable. Like, you just wanna, mwah. You just wanna, mwah, mwah. You see? So good. It looks like I'm sweating at the beach. I think there actually is a beach here in Montreal. I'll have to try and check that out this summer once COVID restrictions kind of ease a little bit and a lot of more people are vaccinated. Specifically once I am vaccinated. We're primed and ready for eyeshadow. So for eyeshadow palettes, I had a very hard time choosing between two. And while I love color, the two that I did choose between were both neutral palettes. Go figure. As a color lover, as a person who really loves versatile palettes that have both color and neutrals, I picked two just boring neutral palettes. And in my defense, they're not actually boring. I think they're some of the most interesting neutral palettes that I have. One being the M Cosmetics Divine Skies Magic Hour palette. There's peaches, there's a champagne, there's brown, there's bronze, there's like a deeper peach color. This is just a really nice palette and has a lot of versatility to it that you wouldn't expect. And so this was one of my choices. The other one is probably the most interesting neutral palette that I have just because of the uniqueness of the shimmers in here. And that's the Kaleidos Sashimi City palette. I love this palette so much. I wasn't gonna get it until I saw like review videos for it, and it just like, look at that. Look at those colors. This shade Ginger, I think it's called Ginger, Pink Ginger. But for the sake of variety in this video, I have chosen to go with the Kaleidos Sashimi City palette. We haven't really seen Kaleidos show up in this video yet. And to be honest, these two palettes are pretty much equals in my eyes. Like, I love both of them to death. I get some really beautiful looks out of both of them. So in my eyes, they're on the same level. This one is just the one that I'm choosing to keep. If I had to throw away all of the rest of them, this is the one that I would keep. So firstly, I'm gonna go in with this color Salmon Skyline, which is this sort of neutrally base tone. And I'm gonna take that on my Luxie 205 brush. It's just like a tapered blending brush. I'm gonna add a generous amount. I'm not really gonna be careful here because I love a messy look. I'm realizing more and more as I apply eyeshadow that I just kind of like a messy sort of smoky look with like any eyeshadow. Like I said, I didn't really want to get this one at first because I was like, oh, it's just a neutral palette. Like, I have a bunch of other neutral palettes and I don't really need this one. But it's those shimmers, and you'll see them at work, that just really sold me on them. They're just so beautiful. Take that same color on my tapered blending brush again, just like smudge it all over the bottom lash line. I'm not being careful, I'm not being precise, I just kind of want it everywhere. Okay, now I'm gonna go in with my Luxie 237 blending brush, which is this little one. I'm gonna use soy sauce, which is this like warmer brown down here. Just the tiniest bit, like I don't want too much, just to darken out the crease, just a little bit. I will say another reason why I chose this eyeshadow palette versus the M Cosmetics ones is that this Kaleidos eyeshadow formula is just out of this world amazing. There's something about it that's just probably the easiest to blend of all of my eyeshadow palette formulas, and just some of the most unique colors you'll ever see. There, I darkened it up just a tiny little bit, and the same thing on the other side. Perfect. I'm gonna take a little bit of that on my little blending brush, still the same brush. I'm just going to apply a tiny bit in the outer corner. Again, I'm not worried about being too precise with this because I like it to look messy. Messy and disheveled, just like my life. Okay, and finally, I'm going to take that shade Pink Ginger, which is this shimmery pink. I take that right on my finger, and I'm going to apply it across the entire eyelid. Oh my god. It's so beautiful. Like, Sparkle, sparkle, sparkle. Such sparkle, such light, such beautiful and bright. Look at those eyelids. Look at them sparkle. Sparkle, sparkle. Now I'm not gonna lie, there is fallout with this palette. So don't do what I did and do your eyes last. Do them first. Save yourself the trouble. Unless you're like me and you like sparkle all over your face, then do whatever you want. I love how that turned out. It's beautiful and unique. What more could I ask for in an eyeshadow palette? I would keep this one out of all of mine if I had to keep one. I did my micro brow pencil off camera because, to be honest, I don't care much about it, and it's the only one that I have, and that's the NYX micro brow pencil. It's fine. It's good. I just don't have any other ones, so it's the only one I would keep. So what's the point of doing them on camera? But the brow gel is something that I would keep if I had to throw all of my other ones away, and that's the Glossier Boy Brow. I love this stuff. I love this stuff so, so much. It really feathers my brows nicely and holds them in place. Like, that's my main thing, is it feathers my brows and actually holds them there. Unlike a lot of other brow gels, looking at you Benefit, that just don't do that. They say, oh, we hold your brows in place. Like, bitch, where? I put too much on this eye. I put way too much here. And I made a mess. And I made a mess. It's okay. We clean in the mess. We clean in the mess. Oh no. There we go. Eyebrows have been sufficiently floofed. This one looks floofier than this one, but it's okay. It's okay. Moving on to the next product is mascara. And there is one mascara out of all of them that reigns supreme that I would keep in favor of all of the other ones that I own. And it is the Fenty Beauty Full Frontal Mascara. I love this stuff. It is so beautiful and so easy to take off. Like, that is one of my biggest gripes with some mascaras, is how hard it is to take off, specifically if it's waterproof. I will let it run down my face in the rain rather than have to scrub waterproof mascara off of my eyes. No, thank you. I don't want to have to scrape my eyelids off and pull out each individual hair of my eyelashes in order to take off a mascara. I'm just not about that. No thanks. And this one is just perfect. It comes off so easily and it wears so beautifully. No flaking, nothing. It like gives this like fluttery butterfly effect to your eyelashes without turning them into spider legs, which I really don't like. I like to emphasize my natural lashes. I don't like to create new ones. Although this is coming from somebody who has naturally long and thick eyelashes, so maybe that doesn't mean anything to you. But to me, I just like to enhance my natural eyelashes. We have our mascara on. We are ready for the last step. I haven't chosen an eyeliner because I don't like applying eyeliner. I just don't. I'll usually use an eyeshadow as an eyeliner with a brush and that's it. So I haven't chosen an eyeliner. If you were excited to see eyeliner in this video, my apologies, there is none. Okay, so finally we have lips. And the lip product that I chose to keep while throwing out all of my other ones is the Cosmetics Lip Cushion in Magic Hour. I really love this product. It's very pillowy soft. The color is beautiful. There is a very, very lovely color payoff to this product. Along with like the rest of the Magic Hour lineup, the color is beautiful. It's a very like peachy pink sort of color. And it's very nourishing. It's hydrating on the lips. So yes, out of all my lip products, if I had to throw all of the rest of my lip products away, this would be the one I would keep. And it just like, oh, it doesn't plump the lips, but it adds like a glossiness to the lip that just looks, you just look hydrated. I find that the hydration stays on your lips even after you've taken it off. And that's like, for me, that's the mark of a great lip product, is if it's hydrating, but even when it like wears away, the hydration just stays on your lips. It just really tied the look together, you know? I love it. I love this lip color so, so much. I love this lip formula so, so much. Out of all my lip products, this would be the one I would keep if I had to throw all the rest of them away. Maximum hydration. Finally, just to say that we've covered every category, is setting spray. And for setting spray, I like to choose hydration over actual setting because I find a setting powder for me does just fine. So I'll go for something like the Glow Recipe Watermelon Glow Mist. I really love this. It's not like advertised as a setting spray, it's a hydrating mist, but I find that putting something like this on really just, if there's any seams in your makeup, it will blend those together, I find. Like, it really elevates the look from something that could potentially be cakey to something that is a little bit more natural looking. I'm just gonna spray some of this on. Also, it smells amazing. Smells like watermelon. And it adds even more glow to my face. And there you have it, my completed look with all of the products that if I had to throw out all of the rest of my things, I would keep only these products because they are the products that I have deemed worthy of keeping. They are the products that I've deemed everyday usable in every single circumstance. I can dress them up, I can dress them down, and they will just work in every single scenario. So these are the products that I thought were not necessarily my favorites in my collection, but they were the ones that if I had to throw everything away, these were the things that I would keep. I will make a list of all of these products down below and where you can get them if they're still available. I hope you enjoyed the video today. I'm sorry for the sporadicness of my uploading lately. I haven't been in the greatest of headspaces, but we're slowly getting back into the swing of things. If you liked this video and you want to see more videos like this, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.